Om Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sharing the questions. Are you able to see this question? Yeah. Okay. Question one. Prabhu is the questioner. Can you explain the state of neutralization? Does it mean you have to overindulge yourself on any object you like to attain that state? For example, I never drank alcohol. Does that mean I attain the state without indulging?
No, hi, Hariom. I'll just step
Yes.
in. Yeah.
Yes, Vinod.
So I don't know. I mean, since I read it right now, and I'm just trying to be the first one just to start the conversation. I think uh, the nutrition process is normal in the sense everybody goes through it, irrespective of alcohol or no alcohol. And I can resonate with Swamiji's example, which he had given, which happens in case of mangoes, and in the house of Gujarati, where mangoes are, we eat in abundance. I think the habit which audible, right?
Yeah.
Just check. I'm using the headset, so I'm not very clear. So I was saying that we, indulge means in the first week or first one when they come, you'll probably eat like one, two, three, four, five at a time, to an extent that after a week you want to resist, or you want to avoid eating more, because we all have indulged into the mango, the Alfonso mangoes, which comes probably uh, one quarter out of the four quarters are there. And then I realized, with that example, that applies in all other areas also. So again, giving a Gujarati example, a sweet tooth. So this is the time of the kite flying and Uttarayan and Pongal. So a lot of sweets get made at home sweets, and especially after the till laddu and all. I recall. I have to actually stop myself because you eat one, the small one, you eat the second one, and you eat the third one. Then you actually, due to uh, and which is to stop yourself from not eating the fourth one, so that you enjoy next day also. Otherwise, what happens is that I've seen in my own behavior, my children's behavior, and our family behavior, that we get overexcited or get excited with the kind of food which is available now. We will get into it, and a state of time comes in after a few days. Yeah, yeah, enough of it now. Let me just change out there. So I don't think that one needs to, drink alcohol or, reach to any state. It happens with every single thing in a day-to-day life where the state of neutralization keeps happening. If you keep going to parties, keep going to drinking, keep going to do whatever this one. So I think that's my first reaction to uh, the question which has been asked. Maybe I'll think and come back if I'm there more.
Other answers?
I'll give it a go, if that's
Yep.
okay. So the question is, can you explain the state of neutralization? I would say neutralization is where you feel indifferent towards things. And you are resisting the urge with the understanding that, with the intellectual understanding that if I overindulge, I'm going to lose even the basic liking for an object. The second question is, does it mean, like, if you've not had alcohol, have you reached that stage? Um, just looking at things in life, there are some things that one doesn't tend to touch anyways. It's, we're brought up that ways. But we also have the unmanifested vasanas that will come, that may come at any time. Therefore, um, yeah, I wouldn't, for now, possibly you have, but possibly you've not. But again, on the other hand, it would be neutralization is when you've actually gone through that process for that particular thing. Um, yeah, so I would say the answer is no. You haven't reached that yet. Things will continue to pop up, and if you haven't tasted alcohol now, you never know what might happen in the next couple of months or years, God forbid, of course. Yeah.
Arjun.
Uh, the state of neutralization, uh, it is something where we don't overindulge in anything, neither do we suppress our desires in whatever form, be it alcohol or any physical, material, or intellectual desires. Uh, the, and not by overindulging and not by suppressing it, just seeing the desires for as they are with awareness uh, is my understanding of the state of neutralization. And yes, does it mean you have to overindulge? No, it is not. We should not overindulge, nor should we suppress it. Uh, for example, I never drank alcohol. Does that mean I attain that state without indulging? Might be. It is like your vasanas. You have no vasanas of mm, having a desire to uh, drink alcohol. This is my understanding.
Okay. Yes,
Can
Nimesh.
I just go again?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, as I said, I couldn't think much, but I went into the experience of eating mangoes, and that again gave me the answer of neutralization. It says the first mango tastes the most, delicious. Yeah, it's like the most yummiest thing in the world. You get that. Then the second mango goes down by maybe 20, 25. I'm just doing a percentage number, maybe by 25%. Even though it's the same taste, the taste goes down by 25%. If you get into the third one, then the same mango, same sweetness, same Alfonso, the best guy, but it starts to taste you a little less than what the first one tasted there. And there reaches a point that if you have the fifth mango, then what will happen is that you will resist, you will reach a state of neutralization because your stomach is full, there is no taste buds for it, even though the same taste. So it actually reaches a point of neutralization when the same mango we tasted at the best, the first one, is the same mango at the fifth one, but you reach a state where you stop enjoying. And what I have done here is indulged myself by eating four mangoes uh, at the same time, the same meal. And therefore, I reached a stage of neutralization where it doesn't, I mean, I resist, I don't feel the same taste. And I think that would be the answer to the, can you explain the state of neutralization? I've done that.
So, Sham, before you answer,
Yeah.
right, I
Yeah.
I have the follow-up question as well.
Mm.
So, I believe Swamiji at one point he mentions that like if you come in contact with an object again and again, your quantum diminishes. That's where he was giving an example, right? So like you have a maximum pleasure to zero pleasure, and that's where you attain that state. But my question is like, yeah, like for an for an object that you have never came in contact with, is there a possibility of attaining that state? The second one is like if you if you want to control or regulate your urge to a certain object, how do you do that?
Okay. Okay. Any answers before I proceed to Prabhu's question?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, Sharon, you go ahead. Please go ahead.
You go, it's fine, don't worry.
Okay, so I think the first question was that, if I understood well, there are objects, something which you never indulge or never experienced it, and can you get to a state of this? So it all depends because supposing I developed a new habit. I'm just saying, for the sake of saying that playing cricket. I mean, though I play cricket, but I'm saying I developed a cricket now, and then I just go all out forgetting. So it should be practiced for net practice should be 1 hour, 2 hour a day. If I go into 6, 8 hours a day, I forget all the other ritual activities I need to do. I spend 5 times the time which I should have done on the effort of playing cricket or practicing cricket. I will reach at a point there. One will, I mean, it may not be in just 5 days about it, but over a period of time, what will happen is that if I pick up any new activity, any new object, and if I go more than what it is disciplined or supposed to be done, they will reach a point that what will happen is after a month, I'll say, so, I mean, the best example, sorry, when I give a vague example, a lot of people join gyms in the New Year time, right? People just go in the gym in the New Year. In the first 15 days, everybody so much indulges or gets into the gym with extra exercises out there. And then from the 16th day, the gym is empty just because people have taken up a new habit by looking at somebody else. It was not his original thought. Picked up something like a gym, went overboard about it, doing all the weights and all the stuff across there, and reaches a point. Abhi, I reach a need to, I don't want to go now, and takes a break, and then just then get into the state of doing that. That was the first. I don't remember the second question or what you said first.
How do you
I don't.
moderate? How do you moderate and
Uh,
regulate?
How do you regulate?
Yeah, so regulate is the same thing. Again, I go back to my own example because I'm genuinely trying to eat only 2 till laddus in a day. Okay, by continuously conversing with myself, continually disciplining myself, and now you reach a stage where you feel that I want to enjoy tomorrow as well. When I want to enjoy tomorrow, I have to control today. And therefore, it's the conversation which I keep doing there. And there is a point when I put my hand into till laddu and I say, I already enjoyed it now. And since I'm understanding now with the knowledge, it helps me to not go, if I'm slightly empty beyond three, but it's a conversion, it's a discipline, it's a commitment to yourself. And the last thing, which I said, which is very powerful against Swamiji's guidance is there, if I want to enjoy it tomorrow, yeah, then I need to, talk to myself and stop there. That's how moderation, and it's not like a, journey which happens in just by conversation. One has to really apply it day in and day out, wake up, talk to, and then over time you master it, maybe, a few weeks or a few days or months. I don't know how much time it takes for each people, but it took me a couple of weeks or a couple of mistakes to do over a period of time, and then maybe reach the stage where I could stop myself moderating and doing that. I'll stop here.
Sharon.
Thank you. So it took me a while to learn this, but I learned that developing your intellect, it develops in certain areas only. So you might be in control in one area of your life or in a sub area of your life, but it doesn't mean you've got your intellect is developed overall. And as you grow as a person, your intellect develops. So your question of how do we regulate it? I've learned along the way that if you adopt higher values, then your lower and negative values will drop off. And I think Swamiji mentioned this as well. So a good example over here, I was going to ask Shamji to explain, but the ideas come up here. For example, if we were to remember how fortunate we are to have this human body, how, we could have been a plant, we could have been an animal. So if you kind of use this reasoning, and so that's the higher value that I'm thinking about. Oh, I'm so lucky to be having this. Why am I falling into these kind of indulging? So it's that reasoning that you go through, and then only these lower habits will kind of drop off. Yeah.
Arjun, you have anything to add?
Regulating contact, we can regulate the contact by introducing awareness in all aspects of our actions. So this is the thing, this is the way I generally practice it. That's it, Swamiji.
Okay. So what is the state of neutralization? The state of neutralization is where there is no pleasure anymore in contacting the object, but non-contact gives displeasure. This is the definition of neutralization. In other words, the person who's smoking a cigarette, he doesn't find, if he's a, what is it, chain smoker, the next cigarette that he has is not giving him pleasure anymore. But at that time, the mind starts disturbing him. I should have a cigarette. I should have a cigarette. So when he takes and puts a cigarette in his mouth, it is not that he's deriving any great pleasure out of it, but because when he doesn't have it, there's a lot of agitation. This state is called the state of neutralization.
So
The
can you repeat
contact
non-contact creates displeasure? Is that what you're saying?
The non-contact gives displeasure, correct. The contact
Okay.
does not give pleasure, but non-contact gives displeasure. Therefore, he continues the contact. Because see, the question is, if I don't have pleasure anymore, why will I contact it? But the person contacts it because the non-contact gives displeasure. So that's why a chain smoker or even a person who's alcoholic, they don't find pleasure in it because they drunk so much. That's why is it? Because of the second question, they have overindulged. The indiscriminate contact, the mind wanting to contact, and you go and contact it before you got back the capacity to enjoy, gives rise to this neutralization. In other words, Nimesh sent a message, say I went for a jog for 1 hour. Now he's gone for a jog for 1 hour. Now after he finishes, his friend comes and says, let's go for a jog. Now he can't because he's exhausted his capacity, right? So, but what happens the next day, next morning, he still again gets back the capacity to run. Right? Similarly, when you even contact object, that's a capacity to enjoy. So the moment that capacity gets over, you will not derive pleasure anymore. And each person's capacity is different. One person just has to put the sweet in his tongue, if immediately hits the capacity. Another person has to have 10 laddus to hit the capacity. You understand? So what is happening? Every contact that you make, the pleasure content is coming down because your capacity is also coming down. Your enjoying capacity is coming down. So it's coming down. And it will hit a point called zero. That 0th point, it's like this, right? I'm just putting this is the diagram that Swamiji uses. So the first contact has maximum pleasure. When you contact it without giving the proper regulation, then what happens? It becomes less and less and less until it hits zero. So at the point of zero, there is no pleasure on contact, but when you stop the contact, the mind agitates you. Therefore, you contact. So this is called the state of neutralization. Right? Now, the answer to that is moderate, regulate, and moderate. This is the point. So, in other words, therefore, if you have never had alcohol, you can't say you got neutralized to it. Why? Because the neutralization happens only when you contact and lose your capacity to enjoy. You understand? So therefore, there's no meaning. Unless you contact it, how will you lose it? So you have not contacted. Right? Therefore, neutralization first is a negative condition. You have reached the point of having an object. So you should understand this. You got an object or people who have relationships. You lose the pleasure in the enjoyment in the contact when you're too close to the person. Because constantly you're contacting, your capacity to enjoy that relationship has come down to zero. Then why are you why are you not stopping the contact? Non-contact gives depression. So we have picked up objects, we have picked up people, relationships, and because of our unintelligent way of contacting them, we lost the pleasure. Now what we are doing, we have to keep the contact going because otherwise it gives depression. That is why everybody is morose. Nobody is joyful when they. Why? Because they got hundreds of objects and relationships and got this neutralized to it. So what is this regulation and moderation? You need to apply your intellect. Intellectual application is the most important. First understanding is my subsequent contact done without moderation will reduce my pleasure and take it to zero. Right? So therefore, in my interest, I have to regulate the contact to enjoy things. First, knowledge. So once you have that knowledge and use the intellect to supervise the contact, then you will regulate. So you should understand one thing. Even when you regulate and moderate, still the pleasure content will keep coming down, or you will never get that pleasure of the first contact. Because of the fact that objects and beings of the world cannot give you pleasure. Please understand this. Cannot give you happiness. So it's not there. That's why it's coming down over a period of time. So by intelligently managing, you are trying to keep some pleasure going. That's what happens. Right? So therefore,
So
yeah.
what you're saying is like any object or beings that you're associated with or that you like, at some point of time, your interest is going to dissipate. But in the course of time, you need to know how to regulate and moderate it using your
Correct.
intellect.
Correct. So therefore, what will happen? You will get back the pleasure. Like how you got back the capacity to jog the next day, right? You'll get back the pleasure if you are sufficiently disconnect or you contact it over with the regulation. So you'll get it.
Okay.
So you'll be able to retain the pleasure. That's all.
I'll sorry, just step in again. I remember Swamiji's example he gave asking if I'm right, Baskin Robbins example, ice cream. Yeah. If you eat every single day, I mean, if you eat it every quarter, then you'll always wish that, next quarter, you would want to eat the Baskin Robbins or whichever pizza, whatever liking for. Just supporting what
Yeah.
the example it just struck me. What's ice cream you can't overindulge. Keep it at moderated. You keep enjoying more and more in life without creating desires is also an important part. You're not going to be saying that every quarter I want to eat, but opportunity arises, just want to have it, just have it for the fun, enjoy the taste, and move on in life.
Correct. So therefore, what is most important is the the regulation happens only when the intellect comes into the picture. So everybody use different words. Awareness means intellectual coming to the picture. Arjun said, right? What Sharin said is values. The value should be there for you to say, I need to continue my enjoyment. Therefore, I need to have some higher. The higher value could be saying, I don't want to get neutralized. You understand? Now, what is happening? You are blaming the object. We are blaming the object. We are blaming the person. Oh, I don't enjoy your company anymore. It's not the person's company is not enjoyable. You don't know how to contact. You understand? So that's the higher value. The higher values problem is not with the world. The problem is with me. I don't know how to contact it. Because the other person hasn't changed. They are showing the same affection. They are having the same thing, everything. But you have lost the joy because you don't know how to contact. So therefore, you need to fix the way you contact it. Mind cannot do it because it has no direction or dimension. That's the nature of the mind. So that is why it will, if it likes something, it will want to contact. Therefore, you have to bring in the intellect to be able to control the mind. And for which you need to have this higher knowledge. And pegging on the higher knowledge, though it may be difficult because the object is in front of you and you have the desire. So therefore, that's the restraint comes. The intellect says, don't do it. Why? Because if I have it tomorrow, then I'll enjoy it. If I have it now, I'll not enjoy it. It's just that the thing is going inside. The food is going inside without any reason. So why should you do it? Any questions?
Um, I didn't understand the non-contact gives displeasure.
So
I
in
don't know
other
whether.
words, yeah,
Yeah.
if the person, so in other words, a person is used to smoking every hour, say every hour he smokes, right? So by the 45th minute or the 48th minute or 50th minute, the mind comes back to say, you should have a cigarette, you should have a cigarette, you should have a cigarette. This thought itself is an agitation because the guy is searching for it, right? If he doesn't find it, he'll get agitated.
Okay.
So
So it's
because
not.
of his habit,
Yeah.
what happens every time he has to contact it. If he doesn't contact it, he gets agitated. So
Okay.
he's now contacting not for a positive joy, but to avoid the negative agitation.
Mhm.
So earlier he was having the cigarette because it was giving him positive joy. When he had it, he found an enjoyment in it. Now he's not finding enjoyment. But if he doesn't contact it, the mind disturbs him. He can't do anything else. He just looks for a cigarette. He starts going to the shop to get it. Right? So now the contact is not for enjoyment, joy. The contact is to avoid agitation. That's called the state of neutralization.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Sharon, can I add the same
Yes.
mango
Yes.
example?
Yes, Nimash.
You know, if everyone is eating and I have the temptation or I like mangoes around it there, and if I don't contact it, I don't eat the mango. Everybody in the market, everybody is having across there. Non-contact will make me just have that urge and desire or excitement that I need to have the mango, man. I need to have the mango. When will I have the mango there? So when I have the first mango, suddenly I feel, relieved in the sense because we don't smoke, we relate. Okay, that urge of smoking will not come. But whatever food you want, or whatever ice cream, or whatever stuff you wanted to always have, and you're not able to have, okay. So non-contact actually creates the kind of agitation till you have
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever
So the
food.
word
Yeah.
the word that I was missing was the agitation, probably instead of displeasure.
Displeasure
That's
means
it's.
correct. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, both of you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Swamiji, then that means we should have indulgence. How is it that then?
No, 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 no. When you indulge, you lose. Understand one thing. Just because you're contacting that mango doesn't mean it's indulgence. When you contact the mango and enjoy it completely, that's called actual enjoyment. But the next contact that you have, because you found the joy in it, you want to have that second mango. So when you contact it, what's happening? The enjoyment is coming down. It's not as enjoyable as the first. The quality of the mango is exactly the same. It's the same pile. You understand? But you don't enjoy it because you immediately contacted the second one. Now, if you go to the third one, the enjoyment is coming down. So this repeated contact without using reason, this is called indulgence. You're contacting more than necessary. Therefore, it's coming down. So that doesn't mean you should not contact. Then you'll be a more suppressed person because the desire is there and you're not contacting, isn't it? So indulgent means mind running into that contact without supervision because it has no direction. It'll want more and more of it. Not understanding by contacting again, I'll lose the pressure. But the mind doesn't think like that because it remembers the first contact which gave pleasure. So it keeps on going back to it. Yeah. Is it clear, Arjun?
Yes, Swamiji.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, question two. Because the group did not have questions, I have framed some questions for, for you to think and answer. What is the problem with desires? Having understood the same, how does one handle desires? So first you should know the problem of desire, only then second question can be answered. So both.
Swamiji, the problem with desires is it once the desire is when we get indulged with that, it doesn't give a sense of fulfillment. It gets to multiply. Like if I have the mango example, I have mango, and then I will have desire to have another. So the problem with desires is it gets multiplied. And having understood the same, how does one handle desires? Uh, Yes, to handle desires, we should regulate the contact, as you said, just uh, not giving overpower to our thought, using our intellect and regulating the contact.
Okay. Other answers? Yes, Nimesh.
Okay.
Yeah, Sharon, go ahead, please. This time you go ahead.
This time, Shireen first.
This must be something with you and me. So I've just written down desires are never ending. They accumulate substantially. It causes lots of agitations. And to me, in a way, like it causes you to actually even lose out the true essence of why you are living, because like you're just chasing after these things. I've written down it creates new vasanas as well. And most importantly for me, desires are us interacting with objects in the world around us. They're goal, they're signposts for us to progress. So if we continuously think about this, it's stopping us from going inward. It's stopping us from actually, happiness is within us, and all these are simply temptations which are taking us away from where we should be. Yeah, that's for me. Thank you, Nish.
Yes, Nimesh.
I think almost the similar thoughts. So you actually spoke almost the same thing. But yeah, I think what I'll pick up the same thing is ad infinitum or endless. Um, I think that the two things only come to my mind. And because it just multiplies, like again, Swamiji says, multiplies like bacteria. And if you don't have, again, regulate, I don't think we cannot have desires, because I think that existence itself or birth means that we will have vasanas, original vasanas, prarabdha vasanas, and that'll, culminate into different desires. But uh, and here is where the role of intellect comes into place, because if we really don't uh, control or moderate or stop new vasanas, and maybe I'm not able to handle, but I didn't ask a question. Maybe ask a question during this phase also. So what happens is that I'll tell what I was trying to practice with this couple of lectures also. The fact that if you like a car, like now Swamiji says that, in example, if I remember what Swamiji says that you open a window, you saw a beautiful girl, and then you keep looking, and keep thinking about and keep wanting to meet her, accompany her, then you develop a liking to be close to her. So in my case, what's happening is that the thought is to buy a new car. Okay, and every time I see a car, the desire pops up again and crops up, saying that, okay, I have to buy, I have to buy. So and I try to follow the principle which somebody says, just close the window, just disconnect yourself, and just ensure that it doesn't come again. But the problem is, as what we discuss, this world will keep throwing you the same car in front of you again and again. And when you're driving, you're meeting, you're watching movie, watching a match, the same advertisement keep coming out there. And therefore that desire which you had controlled will again rise up. And you again control and again rise up till the time again. So I have to get done with the car in terms of there, so that part gets over. But it same thing, that desire which you spoke earlier, which will keep disturbing till you actually overcome or achieve or enjoy that car. I mean, that thing, acquire and enjoy that car or something like that. So that thought keeps culminating, and unless I sit only, I mean, if I sit only in the house, also still, if I watch TV, that idea comes in. Sometimes, the way it comes is the newspaper also shows the same ad of the car or something like that. So that is where I'm trying to keep my intellect in check and control those things. The world keeps popping up there, and uh, again coming back to the answer to the problem with desire, it keeps me all the time disturbed, not at peace, and I'm looking outside of me in the world to satisfy my desires rather than inward, which I think Sharon also mentioned that, inside is the most important part. To turn introvert, the lesser desires, introvert will have, yeah, may have to, yeah, I'll stop.
Yes, bro.
So as in this is like a segue to from previous question to this question, right? So as Swamiji mentions, like when your thoughts flow like indiscriminately towards an object, it creates an attachment, eventually a desire to fulfill those thoughts, and it becomes thicker and thicker. Like when when you don't have an intellect to check your thoughts. So basically, um, so the way to handle desire, as you mentioned earlier, is to have a strong intellect and try to regulate your emotions.
Where's Arjun?
Not uh, taking any impulsive action. Uh, and this is one more point which I thought of adding it.
Okay.
That's it.
The problem with desire is that you don't know what you want. That's the whole basic problem. You don't know what you want. Or go back. So since you don't know what you want, you don't know what you're asking through the desire. So when you say desire goes ad infinitum, that's what it means, isn't it? So the example that is given in the book is that the bachelor boy, he had everything in life. He just didn't have a partner. Then he went to God and asked God for a partner. The God said, gave him the blessings. And then as he was leaving, he asked him, do you need anything more? Then he said, no, I don't need anything more because I've got everything. So he came down to meet his family. They said they found the girl and he understood that, oh, this is a girl sent by God. So he said, yes, he got married to the girl. 1 year passed, 2 year passed, no issues. Then the girl said, we are humans, we make errors. God offered so many things, right? Go and ask him again that I don't have a child. So again he went back to God and asked God. God said, what do you want now? He said, I want a child. He said, okay, blessed, tatastu, blessed. Then as he was leaving, he asked him again, do you need anything more? Now this time he sat and thought, do I need anything? Then he thought and he said, no, I don't need anything. I have everything. So he came back. The child, then the wife said, I've conceived. So he understood. This is God sent. The child was born, few years went by, the child was not able to, was deaf and dumb. Then again the wife said, why don't you go and ask God? We are mortals. Now he sat and said, no, hang on. I will go and ask God to put sense into the deaf and dumb, make the child speak, make the child hear. Then what will happen? After 15 years, the child is cursing me only. Then I have to go back to God and say, please put sense. So what's the most interesting thing in this process is when he asked for a wife, did he ask for a wife? Anyone? When he said, I desire a partner, is that what he was asking for?
No.
No, because he was asking for a partner who will produce a child. It's not that. It doesn't end that. I want a partner who will produce a child and the child should not be deaf and dumb. Not that. Partner, produce a child who will not be deaf and dumb, who will speak sense. This goes ad infinitum. Not only that, a child will be then, it will take care of me and the child should die one day after me. Why? Because I can't take the child dying before me. So this goes ad infinitum. So why is the desire going ad infinitum? Everybody said desire is going ad infinitum. Why is it going ad infinitum? Because you don't know what you're asking for when you're asking for something, which is called the desire. So having understood that I don't know what I'm asking, this is the second question. Having understood, they say, what should I do? You have an existing desire, start functioning on it on the obligatory basis. I have an obligation, just because
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know what to ask. So I already have an existing set of desires. Let me examine the desires with my intellect and fix what I would want to do based on what I have to do. Then you plunge into those actions that your intellect decides. Now, I am also in a way also addressing certain things that was asked, was mentioned as we were speaking. So when they say, when a thought props up, examine it. See, what is happening is a thought comes. Like, in fact, if Nimesh hadn't mentioned, the normal example I give is thought of a car only. So in a way, good Nimesh said it because a fellow is standing in the bus stop, particularly in India, where in monsoon it rains a lot. And then as he's struggling to get into the bus, public transport, in the rains, monsoon, he sees somebody going in a car. So immediately the thought is, oh, if only I had a car. Thought comes. Now, when the thought arises, you have to examine it. Is it okay in my present condition to have a car or not to have a car? What is my current financial situation? What is my current family? Whatever. You examine it and you dissolve the thought then and there. If you dismiss the thought without intellectual analysis, the thought will come up again. So, because the thought is very inconsequential at that point of time, we just push it aside and go into the next thing. So, again, what will happen? Like what he said. Now, whenever, as he's going in the public transport, everything he sees only is a car. Yes, that car, this car, like that. So, then what is happening? Oh, it's good to have a car. It's good to have. Now, this thought is developing. And if you don't examine and just push it aside, it will become a thought flow, which is called a desire. Therefore, then what will happen? The moment it has become a desire, you act on it. And you understand that by acting on the desire, it is not that you resolve the issue. Why? Because desire goes ad infinitum. That's it. It's going to multiply. Now that you have a desire, you have to find what? Parking. In Bombay is difficult to find parking. Do you have parking in the house? You may have parking in the house. When you go to work, every day you have to think, where is the parking? Where is the parking? Because a lot of buildings, they don't have parking. Parking is important. How to maintain it? So many expenses are adding to it, right? So this goes ad infinitum. And what will happen? After a few months, you will say, small car is good, but it's not comfortable. If I have a medium car, it will be better. The desire doesn't stop there. Therefore, you have to use your intellect to examine. Now, this is to examine the desire. Now, go back and examine your existing desires also. I am having all these desires. What am I doing with them? So, two principles has to be followed. Please understand this. These are two principles you have to follow. The first principle is to simplify and standardize your life. What is simplification and standardization? Understand this. In every aspect of life, the non-essential aspects of life give the mind what it wants. Simplification of life. In other words, the type of clothes you wear, the type of gadgets you can have, all those things you analyze and give it what it wants. The type of food you eat, the type of, you don't have pens today, earlier we used to have the stationery, type of pen and pencil, everything. You give the mind what it wants. If you are comfortable with 5 sets of clothes, keep 10 sets of clothes, doesn't matter. So give the mind in these non-essential areas what it wants. Then what will happen? When even in that area anything new comes, it doesn't get attracted to it because you have given it what it wants. Most of the time, when people go to the mall and buy clothes, why? Because they have never made up their mind how many clothes are there in the in the wardrobe. You understand? So they just go and buy. It's lying in the again goes back to the wardrobe. So what happens when you open the wardrobe? It is so affectionate. It comes out and embraces you because so many clothes inside. It just comes out. So simplify. This is what is called simplification of life. This could even be like what Nimesh was saying, even be a car. I want to buy this car for my family. That's it. You buy it and just be done with it. Then what will happen? You will say, until my income is this much, I'm not going to think of the next car. So when the thought comes, you can cut it off. So now we are not able to cut it off because we have not prioritized and simplified our desires and given the mind what it wants. So what is this simplification and standardization? This is called standardization. What is my level of income? And below the level of income, I can, whatever I can afford, I can give everything comfortably. So that, in other words, doesn't mean, oh, I like a Mercedes, I'll get it. Then the mind, no, you can't. If you can't afford it, you should not have it. So standardize on all these things in life. The clothes you wear, the gadgets you use, if it's possible, even the house that you stay, what type of house you want to stay, where you want, the type of vehicle you use. Then what happens, since the mind is given what it wants in these areas by intellectual application, when the mind asks you anything in that area, you can shut up the mind. Just keep quiet. I've given you what you want. We have never thought about these things. Then what happens? The second principle is, once you have given what it wants, doesn't mean that you should not increase your standard. When your level of income or wealth has gone to such an extent that you can afford it, you can change it. But you don't have to keep changing your standard every week, every month. Then that is again impulsive. So give it what it wants. Then what happens? Now you have all the mental energies because the mental energies are not frittered away. See, for example, this standardization that we have followed is we wear this dhoti and kurta, or the pajamas and kurta, and even our clothes we are standardized. So every day you don't have to sit thinking about it. When you get up in the morning, you're fixed. No, this is what I want to wear. Otherwise, every day, for this color shirt, which tie should I wear? What are the trousers? Say so much of my energy spent on it. You standardize on certain things. This is what I'll use. So the mind doesn't get waste energies on these non-essential aspects. So such a mind which is now available, you can put it on going to higher realms of spiritual growth. You can fix something larger and start working towards it. Right? So you already have those desires, handle those desires in a practical way. That's what it means. Which you can easily afford. Considering your level of income, considering your level of emotions in terms of relationships, considering your level of thinking with reference to your intellectual capacity, you fix, I will do this much. For me to be a person in the business, this much of knowledge I need of the business. You do it. You keep it there. You fix this much it is I need. Then what will happen when you go and sit on the system? You open Chat GPT. Sorry. Then you go and sit in the system. Once you know how much knowledge you also need, when you go and sit in Chat GPT or Perplexity, whatever it is, you don't spend too much time on it because you know exactly what you want. So you understand how in all aspects of life it helps when you standardize things, fix things. Then that is the way to handle the desire. So you're not stifling the desire, you're not suppressing it, but you're handling it. Number one. Number two, because you have planned everything, it doesn't produce that endless chain because you're putting a stop to it by giving it. So first comes the understanding. I don't know what I'm asking for. Second comes now that I've understood what should I do with my desires, then you keep on handling, standardize your things, And I can't fix the standard for you, you can't fix the standard for me. Each one has to fix the standard for themselves. See, for example, I may be comfortable with 3 sets of clothes or 4 sets of clothes, right? Somebody else may be comfortable only with 10 sets of clothes. Otherwise, the mind will be disturbed. Somebody may be happy with only 2 sets of clothes. One with washing, one they are wearing. It's possible. So each person's level is different. So nobody can fix that for them. So they have to fix for themselves. This is called standardizing. And the standard, then the question is, what should be the standard? The standard is dependent on your wealth, your earning, your capacity today. Otherwise, the standard, then if you go and read the scripture, then you say, sir, according to the scriptural standard, you should not have anything. No, no, no. That's not what scripture means. Scripture means whatever wealth or income that you have, the desire should be contained well within it. Standardized. Change the standard when your income and wealth have changed. It's possible. It's okay to change. There's nothing wrong. There's no strict thing you have to only keep to this. Then keep the mental energies that are now available, use it for your evolution. Whatever is your evolution, whatever you plan to. Any questions?
I have one thing to add, if that's okay. Like to reflect back on our past as well. Like there was a dream job that I've always wanted, and I've worked really hard to get it. It was proving to be impossible because of citizenship reasons. But then when I got it, that realization, like really, 10 years, I've strived so hard for it. So if you're lucky enough, I think like for me, I was quite fortunate to have that one big thing. But then when I reflect back, there's so many that we can actually pick on. Like we thought this would give us happiness, and we thought this would, like personal experience that way also helps you handle future desires. Yeah.
Correct. So, in other words, when you get it, you don't find the same pressure that you thought it would give you. But like you said, see, your intellect got triggered there and you examined it. People think, oh, so now this is not in this anymore. They go to the next desire. You understand? They think, no, now that will give me joy. That's why they've picked up so many things in life. So, unless the intellect awakens, you cannot gain, nobody can gain wisdom. See, a lot of people will say, why you guys are going to Vedanta class? By experience you'll gain. It's not possible. So there's no direct cause and effect between experience and wisdom. There's a direct cause and effect between intellectual application and wisdom. See, that is why the same experience, two people react differently because one applies, one doesn't apply their thinking. So even if experience gives wisdom, it's through intellectual application. Any other questions or points? So I am asking all the questions from the book and the text is there. So it's from there only, so that you can, because you've already heard it, you will be able to relate to it. And why I'm drafting these questions, even if you don't have questions, is because we are only listening one way from Swamiji, right? So a lot of times, unless the questions come up and you start articulating, you understood that you can understand how much you have not understood. So the exercise is only for that. So to get more of a humility to say, oh, okay, I have not understood this. The moment the question is asked, what am I finding it blank? So then what it means, I have not really done the reflection part for it to make sense to me, the question, whatever it is. So only for that, I'm drafting questions and bringing it up. Yeah. So if there are no more questions, we'll conclude here, because if I take up another question, it's going to take a lot of time. Yeah. We have anyway only a few minutes to end of class. So we'll conclude here. We'll meet in the next class.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you.